citizens of Region 3, particularly the citizens of this locality and NDC. I want to first of all thank all of you for sharing your time with us this afternoon, a Friday afternoon. I know it's a very busy afternoon for the farmers, getting your produce ready for the market, but yet you're here in such tremendous numbers. That shows that you are concerned and committed to your own future. And this is yet another meeting when we demonstrate to you that we are a government who believe in engagement, a government that believes in listening to you. You know, if I am to check the number of community meetings and outreaches I have had since I assumed this office, it works out to almost 2 every single day. And doing that whilst at the same time maintaining national and international agenda and all the other technical work that comes. But this gives me the greatest joy when we can come and meet with you and connect with the people, listen to your ideas, understand your circumstances, and work with you in finding the solutions that will bring prosperity to every single home. And one of the things that I'm engaging communities about is about a new wave of development. Your ideas and ways in which the next phase of our national and regional development will be built out to bring tremendous benefit to you and your families. Only a few days ago, well, less than 48 hours ago, we made 2 very important announcements. One of the announcements was that we will pay the complete CXC fees for every single child for up to 8 subjects CXC. And the complete CAPE exam fees for every child up to 8 subjects. And that came on the backs. That came on the back of a previous announcement in which we made university education, University of Guyana education, free of cost here in this country. And prior to that, we also have had other announcements in relation to all the different sectors in our country. We have had, in less than 24 hours, another announcement dealing with our NIS pensioners, those who might not have reached the contribution to get the pension. We are now intervening to ensure that once you would have had 500 to 749 contribution, you will get a one-off payment. These are all measures that are beyond what we promised in the manifesto. We have fulfilled completely every single promise and commitment we made in that manifesto. And we are working beyond the confines of the manifesto because we don't see ourselves bounded only by those commitments. We are looking for every opportunity to give more to the people within the financial and economic framework of our country. And only recently, just a few weeks ago, we transferred directly to our rice farmers $2.7 billion to ensure that they will get at least $4,000 per bag when the international market collapsed and fell. Point to one other country that would have intervened in such a way when the market prices collapse. And we are not stopping there. Today, I have another important announcement to make to support our farmers, to support all our farmers. We're going to transfer $2 billion to ensure that 1 bag of fertilizer per acre of land is delivered to all the farmers. We are going to transfer within the coming days that $2 billion in fertilizer subsidy to ensure that for every single acre of agriculture, we are going to give 1 bag of fertilizer. And this is not only this year. This has been our efforts continuously since we came into office. And that is why, my friends, when you look at the numbers, between 2020 and March, between 2020 and March 2025, almost 2 million tons of rice was exported from Guyana. 2 million tons of rice was exported from Guyana, valued more than $1 billion US. And that, my friends, is as a result of our commitment to the rice farmers. Don't forget, not so long ago, when our rice farmers were under pressure, when the banks were repossessing all their machinery and their lands and their homes, they were told by the then government that rice is private business. The same government that promised $9,000 per bag, instead of giving that, when the banks were taking away their land and machinery, they were told that rice is private business. One of the first things we did when we came into office, in the first 2 weeks in my office, I met with the banks, with the Minister of Finance, and we asked the banks to reschedule the loans of our rice farmers. We asked them to help our rice farmers, to recapitalize our rice farmers. And millers, I see my good friends, the Chan family here, from the forestry sector. Let them tell you what was the position of the forestry sector. My first meeting with the members of the forestry sector, including Community Forestry Organization, when I met with them, they were telling me that they were in complete bankruptcy. They lost market, they lost concession. The banks were going after their machinery. Immediately we set up a revolving fund. We help them, we add value, we remove the VAT and the taxes on the equipment, and we help them to get back on their feet, the forestry sector. And all these sectors are closely connected to your communities. And I can go through the list of things that we would have intervened in since reassuming office. And when you look at this list, I am only going to give a brief synopsis of some of the things that we intervened in within the first 50 days that brought direct benefit to you. When we said that we are going to make, not only bring back the Because We Care grant, but make it $50,000 per child, they doubted us. We have now exceeded that, and every single one of your child going to school, they get that $55,000 per month. We have doubled the old age pension. We now have, for the first time, more than 25,000 people on the list of persons with permanent disability that are receiving an allowance. We are now giving a one-off grant This is the first country that gives our old age pensioner an additional pension every month as a bonus pension. We must not take these things lightly. It was less than 4 years ago that our pensioners were paying VAT on electricity and water. We removed that VAT on electricity and water. Today, we live in a society that is growing, that is expanding. And we want to ensure that the next generation of Guyanese will live in a far superior society. One in which the access to health care will be world class. The access to education will be world class. The access to infrastructure will be world class. The access to transportation will be world class. And the access to disposable income and jobs and upskilling will also be world class. But there were many things that we had to fix when we came back into office. Do not forget that we restored the Because We Care grant and increased it. We eliminated all the taxes on telephone and data. We don't remember this, but we are one of the few countries that removed the taxes on telephone accessories and data. Do not forget that within the first 50 days, we removed more than 200 taxes from you, from every single Guyanese. As a result of removing those more than 200 taxes, tens of billions of dollars that you would have paid in taxes is now back in your own pockets for disposable income. Don't forget that it is this government that removed the VAT on electricity, water, food, and medical supplies. We removed VAT on water, electricity, food, and medical supplies. Don't forget that this is the government that reintroduced the subsidies for electricity and water for our pensioners. They came into office when we gave in our previous government all of these things without oil. They came into office with oil, and they even took away the subsidy that we give pensioners for electricity and water. We returned that. Don't forget that the taxes and removal of age restriction on vehicles. We removed the taxes that they had imposed on the age restriction for vehicle. Don't forget that we made electric vehicles completely free from import duties and taxes. Don't forget that the duty of new motor vehicles below 1500 cc was reduced from 45% to 35% under this government. Don't forget that vehicles 4 years and older are now subject to a flat tax and not a tax at the discretion of some custom officer or the valuation thereof. Don't forget that this is the government that removed all the fees on education, university education. This is the government that has given back to your children the textbooks in schools that was taken away. One of the things when we were going around is that parents were saying their children no longer have access to the textbooks in school. More than 3,000 nurses we're training. More than 3,000 teachers we are training to ensure that every single teacher in our education system must be a trained teacher. And today, we are throwing out a challenge that any one of you here, or your children, or your grandchildren, or your niece or nephew, who want to become a nurse, All they have to do is get that 3 subjects. And if they don't have that, we will train them to be a nursing aide. We will give them a stipend whilst we are training them. And when they finish training, they will start at a salary at least $170,000 per month. Today, the starting salary for a constable in the Guyana police force is more, in some cases, than the starting salary for a teller in the bank. Today, a police officer can look ahead in his career and know that once he or she has an unblemished record, that after 22 years of service, they will retire at no less than an inspector. So their retirement benefit will be calculated at that of an inspector. Don't take these things for lightly. This is the government that has granted more than 30,000 scholarships. This is the government that has restored back more than 10,000 directly and 20,000 plus indirectly jobs in the sugar sector alone. Sometimes we forget these things. But I want to come back closer to you and to talk to you a bit about the future. And let us look at another example before I go to the future. Let us look, for example, at the transport traffic from Essequibo to Parika. You had three trips per day. Today, during the week, you have 5 trips, and on weekends, 6 trips. And because of the growing economy and traffic, we are right now looking for an additional boat to put on that Essequibo route. That did not happen by accident. That did not happen by accident. That happened because the economy is growing, commerce is growing, and there is more demand. And we are going to build on this. We started by cutting the rates for farmers bringing their paddy on that boat. We cut the rate by 38% so that the burden of transport was reduced by 38% for you. These are things worth celebrating. These are things that we take for granted because this is a government that you can rely on. One of the important things is your dignity in your vote. When you put that X next to your choice, you're putting your dignity. And why do I say this? Why do you vote? You vote for a better future. You vote because you trust the person you're voting for to do what they say they will do. You vote because you're putting your children's future in that person, party, responsibility. You're voting because you are giving and relying on that entity, that party, that individual to do good for you, your children, your future, your community, and your country. And that vote is your dignity. And when someone tries to take away your dignity, it tells you about their character. And that is exactly what the APNU AFC tried to do. When they tried to steal the elections in 2020, they were trying to take away your dignity. And we must look at who we can trust. Between 2015 and 2020, many people said, let me give them a chance by trusting them with your dignity, which was your vote. And what did you see? Nothing they promised, they did. Instead, they reversed everything that they promised. And look at us on the other hand. Every single thing we said we will do, in our manifesto we did. We have delivered completely all the commitments we made to you in that manifesto. To the extent today, in every single village I go, in every single community I go, we can speak about specific intervention, specific measures, and specific policies that we have for those communities. And my friends, you are living in exciting times here in these communities. And why I say that you're living in exciting times, for the first time, we are investing for transformation. As I speak to you now, we have commenced the project of building out all the bridges from Schoonard, all the way to Parika, and then from Schoonard all the way to Wales, because we are going to build a super highway, the new highway from Wales to Parika. The dream of the Del Conte Road is no longer a dream. Within months, work on the Del Conte Road will also commence with engineering design, so that we're going to open up tens of thousands of new acreage of land for agriculture, for housing, for industry, for tourism, for manufacturing. We're looking at ways in which we will interconnect the islands, reduce the cost of transportation for our loggers, for our farmers, for our miners, so that their productivity, so that their profitability, so that their businesses can benefit and their employees will benefit, the economy will benefit, and the markets will benefit, and all of us will benefit. And these are things that are already on stream. These are no longer pipe dreams. Over the last 1.5 years, we have an excavator that is assigned to, for example, Ruby and Hubu. But we are not contented with that. And I've asked the Minister of Agriculture to deploy 2 more excavators to these communities, so that we can ramp up the hours that will be given to farmers, so that we can increase production, so that we can give you the drainage and irrigation, the block support, and every single farmer will have that 8-hour work on their land, so that you can all get the direct benefit from the investment you're making. Within the next 9 days, 2 additional excavators will be at your service in these communities. We have already in the islands, Legwan and Wakenham, Hog Island, all of these islands, we have invested heavily in drainage and irrigation. But more importantly, when you look at the transformation that is required here, and let me say, in addition to the 2 excavators, we are also going to put, because Parika and Hyde Park, those are 2 areas identified for the mobile pumps. And those mobile pumps are going to be here before the end of the year, and 2 pumps will be located, 2 of those mobile pumps will be located in these areas. But my friends, let me say this to you. On the 2nd of May, the expression of interest or the tender for a very important project will close. And what is that project? It is one of the most transformative projects for these islands and for Parika, for every single farmer, for every single shipper. We are going to launch the first phase of converting Parika Stelling into a port that will ship directly to the region. And the first phase of that project, The tenders will be open on the 2nd of May, and we hope that construction in the first phase will commence long before July, so that the Parika port facility will commence. And that port facility would allow us to ship directly from here all over the Caribbean, our loggers, our miners, our farmers. But to support the port, we also have to invest in some key infrastructure here. So you will have customs and immigration, you will have a modern fire service, a modern coast guard, a modern police service. But importantly, to support our farmers, we're going to invest in a modern storage facility, a modern processing facility, and an important cold storage facility to extend the lifespan of your crops. These are the investments we are making to ensure the next phase of the transformation, the next phase of what we want to invest in, that phase will see new opportunities. And what are the new opportunities? The investment we are making in this port facility will also bring with it a marina so that we can have boats utilizing a marina here in Peru to support the tourism sector. So you'll have sailing, boating in the Essequibo River. We're going to make the facility to ensure that the facility can accommodate cruise liners coming into Parika, so that the Essequibo circuit, the Essequibo tourism circuit, can be further explored, and the tourism opportunity that will come with that. Those are the type of investment that we are going to make to ensure that you have a bright future ahead of you. And it's not only the Del Conte Road, it is the Sand Hill Road link from Timeri all the way to Sand Hill, to a major interconnection going into Bartica, opening up all of the hinterland from that direction. That is the next investment that will be made, that will link all of the infrastructure for economic expansion and transformation. This is the future we're talking about. This is what occupies my mind and the mind of the government in a night and a day, thinking about how we are going to build out the next phase of development, the next phase of expansion. As simple as this shed looks here. Look at Lenora. When we build the shed, the market shed, and this is the concept that the people want. Everybody said, who can go into the shed? We spoke to the people, and today what they're asking us, expand the shed. Everybody, it's a big tourism hit. People coming from Barbies, Georgetown, all over the place to shop there on Friday night. And that is what we want to create. Life in the economy. Transformation also requires a transformation in our thinking, a transformation in our mindset, a transformation in our culture, a transformation in the way we treat the environment, in the way in which the responsibility through which we exercise our daily lives. Very soon, we'll open at Dekendren a modern health facility with CT scan, digital x-ray, integrated digitally with every single other hospital across the country. This is the future we're talking about. And we know that we have a shortage in terms of the number of doctors and nurses that are required. That is why right now we are recruiting internationally doctors, nurses, lab technicians that will come to help us in the intervening period whilst we're training ours to manage these facilities. This is where we're investing. This is how we're investing to ensure that you have a better life. And the promise of a prosperous future is ahead of us. We have done a lot of the hard work. We have done tremendously in fulfilling the commitment in our manifesto. But more importantly now, my friends, more importantly now is this next phase of development and investment that would lead to the economic transformation, that would lead to the expansion of the economic opportunities. And when I outlined this vision on the international stage, they said, Mr. President, you're very ambitious, but you only have 5 more years. How are you going to get it done? And I said to the international community that I have to make 5 years, 10 years. So I intend to have a government that will work 24 hours to convert 5 years into 10 years so that we can accomplish all of these things. We have, over the last 4+ years, been working around the clock, to the extent that how it is important also for them. The future we are building requires hard work. And I'm not here to tell you that everything is perfect. There are challenges, there are weaknesses, but we have to work on ensuring that we overcome those challenges. And we want technology to help us to overcome those challenges. Before the end of the year, we're going to implement a payment platform that you will use your phone, you will use your device, and those who don't have a device will have one in your hands to make payments, so that if you're here and you have to pay your workers in Bacall, or you have to pay your workers in Mabaruma, or you have to pay your workers somewhere in Region 1 or Region 9, with your phone, you will sit it at home and you will pay, you will make those payments, saving time, saving productivity in a safe environment. You will sit at home and you will make all your purchases. You will pay all your suppliers. You will transfer your money to the bank. You will make withdrawals and send the withdrawals to make payments wherever you want to make the payments, all from the comfort of your home. You would not have to go to Georgetown to renew your license, because we will have kiosks right in the market. You come on Sunday market or Saturday night market, you put your driver's license in the machine and it is renewed. And when it is renewed, right there on the spot. And we are not putting up the cameras on the road to harass people. We want to remove the burden from our traffic officers of having to stand in the middle of the road and stop, and you know what comes with that. We want to remove the suspicion from the system. We want you to take responsibility for your future, for your friends' future, for your children's future. So the cameras that we are putting there is not to create hardship, it is to save lives, it is to save families, it is to save you, it is for responsibility. So those cameras will generate tickets, and you don't have the burden to go to court. You can pay the tickets right from your phone. But we don't want you to pay tickets. We want you to do what is right. We want you to do what is right to protect you and your families. The future we're talking about that will come within the next 2 years, within the next year, is one in which your parents, your grandparents, or for your child, you will sit at home and you will schedule your appointment at the Kendron Hospital or any one of the hospitals, so that you don't have to go there on a clinic day and line up for 4 hours or 3 hours. From your home, you will schedule your appointment and you will know what time you have to go to the clinic or the hospital. A system that will tell you and tell your health practitioner when your tablets are due. A system that will allow you not to have to store 10, 20 x-rays, but a system that will be digital. One in which when you turn up at the hospital, you will swipe your digital card and your entire medical record will come up so that your practitioner can work with you. That is the future we are building. One in which we can create higher value jobs. One in which we can upskill our people to have nearshoring jobs in the evening. So those in the public service, those of our farmers, your children, when they come home from university, they can have a nearshore job from at home, online, improving their disposable income. Well, the future that we are talking about is one in which we'll have matching investment. So farmers can co-invest in major projects like a fertilizer plant, so that you have an opportunity, you have a stake in the development of the country. And if there is a good idea, we are going to co-invest with you in agri-tech, in agri-innovation, ensuring that we build out the next phase of food production with the support of technology, more hydroponics, helping women to participate in the economy by supporting them with shared houses, making it more easier and accessible for women to own agri-businesses right at their home, adding to the disposable income, adding to the disposable income of the family. It is this government that in the last 4 years, we have seen interest rate for housing come down by as much as 4.5%. When we said we'll deliver 50,000 house lots, they said we are crazy. Today we are on the verge of surpassing that 50,000 house lot. When we said we will do 50,000 jobs, they said we are crazy. Today we are begging any person with an engineering degree, come to the government, we will employ you. We can't get a single person coming forward. Today we are asking any person with a qualification to do nursing, come forward. We'll give you a stipend whilst we train you, and you will get a dedicated job, a guaranteed job after training. We can't find enough persons. The opportunities are there for those who want to make use of the opportunity. You know what is the definition for unemployment? The definition for unemployment is someone who is actively seeking a job but cannot find a job. Not someone who is at home and not looking for a job, or who is offered a job as an operator and say, no, I want a job as a CEO. When people migrate to the developed world, sometimes they have a degree in medicine, but they're driving a taxi. These are not fairy tales. This is the real world in which we live. So you have to. Look, let me give you an example. And there is dignity in labor. Someone with 5 subjects can take 6 weeks training and become an operator on a machine and would earn at least $300,000-$400,000 per month as an operator on a machine. But that person with 5 subjects preferred to stay at home and wait for a job as a teller or someone in the bank and work $140,000 per month. When you can go as an operator, study for 4 years, whilst you work at least 2.5 times the salary, get a degree whilst you do that, and have enough money maybe to invest in your own business opportunity, buy your own piece of equipment. We have to think boldly. We have to understand the innovation and what is required of us in this phase of transformation and development. I can speak to you about these things because we are responsible in what we tell you we will do. And we want you to understand that you also have a level of responsibility in making use of the opportunity, in embracing the opportunities. We can't do this alone. We have to do this together. We have to understand that the future we are building requires us to do it in partnership, requires us to do it together. And that is what I want you to understand. Working with each other, finding ways and mechanisms in which we will do it and do it together. The future is ours, but it requires hard work. It requires sacrifices. It requires commitment. And in the coming months, all the vultures will be out. The vultures will be out in varied form, in varied description. And they'll all come together for one purpose. That is to cannibalize the PPP. To take individual and collective bites at the People's Progressive Party Civic. But this party has stood the test of time. This party has took the weathering for more than 70 years. Every single battle for this country we were involved in. Every single battle for the people of this country we were involved in. And every single time this country and the people of this country needed us, we were right there beside the people. We were right there fighting with you. We were right there lifting you up. Many people forget that in the last 4 years, we have come, look right behind me here, the new nursery school. But many people forget that we have accomplished all of this with 2 years of COVID. 2 years of COVID. My friends, when we came into office, the last government spent billions of dollars on a building that was supposed to be the COVID center. When we went into that building, there was not a single bed. There was not a single oxygen line. There was not a single oxygen tank. There was not a single point. And in less than 1 month, we converted that facility into a full-fledged COVID facility that saved thousands of lives, thousands of Guyanese lives. Two years of COVID, 2 massive floods, and a drought, and yet we were able to accomplish all that I speak to you about. We did that because even during COVID, when we were out of government, and during COVID, when the government was not responding, we got together on a national mask making and distribution drive. You remember that? Many of you participated in it. Sewing cloth masks. We got every temple, every mosque, every church, every family involved. Many of you contributed the cloth so that we could have launched that national mask making initiative. And then we went house to house, sharing that and sanitizer, risking our own lives. And then, in the process, we even lost some of our good comrades going out during COVID to give out hampers, give out masks and sanitizer. But that is the nature of the People's Progressive Party Civic. We are not seasonal. We are not seasonal. We are not fair weather friends. We are not seasonal. And we are not fair weather friends. We are your friends and family for every single season, every single circumstance, every single situation, every single time you need us, we are there. Whether you want to see us to cuss us, or you want to see us to praise us, or you want to see us to tell us off, we are always there for you to do exactly what you want to do. But do not take this for granted. In your own communities, reflect on the last 5 years and see how many visits you had from government officials, ministers, regional officials, and then say for 2015 to 2020 what visit you had. And in the history of this country, we must not forget that the APNU, PNC, AFC, that they were in government for 33 years. 33 years plus 3 years when we had a minority government. That is 36 years they took control of things. Because when we had a minority government, they blocked the Amalas Falls Hydro Project. Imagine, we are making the new Demerara Harbor Bridge. When you build something new, the costs go up. Everybody was expecting a raise in the toll. Instead, we have removed the charges from the Demerara Harbor Bridge. And instead of them being thankful and grateful, their leaders in the AFC, in the APNU, the PNC, you know what was their major concern? How you do that? Did you do any socio-economic study to remove the tolls? Well, I've said it. We don't need any socio-economic study when we are giving benefit to the people, when we are making the lives of people better. My friends, let us be very careful. And not only that toll-free, what is coming soon? Those in the logging and sawmilling industry, those in manufacturing and packaging, Voodoo and all these guys, what they will tell you, what is your biggest cost of operation? The cost of electricity. The cost of power. That is what makes them sometimes have difficulty in competing. Before the end of this year, your cost of electricity will come down by half. Your electricity bill will come down by half. That will increase productivity, increase manufacturing, advance agro-processing. And as we approach the next 5 years, we are going to even give more incentives for these sectors. More incentives for value added in the forestry sector. There must be a preferential taxation system that supports value added in the forestry sector, in the agricultural sector, in manufacturing and industrial development that utilize local material. There must be an incentive system that incentivize, that give benefit for utilization of local labor, local material, local resources. So the system will be geared towards giving these incentives. A future here in Region 3 that will have a full industrial hub, fertilizer plant, chemical plant, agrochemical plant, LNG plant, that will be linked, that will be in Wales. That is why we have to get these highways, so the cooking gas will move from there all the way to Bartica, to the interior, go back to Timeri, connect back to the road into northern Brazil. The future is ours. The plans are there. We are actioning those plans. So my friends, I ask you to invest in your dignity. Invest in your future. Invest in those you can trust to fulfill their commitment. Invest in those that are ready to convert 5 years into 10 years, by making it a 24-hour working day. Because that is what the country needs now. The country needs energy. The country needs commitment, sacrifice, trusted leadership. Trusted leadership. It requires the dignity of your vote, the dignity of yourself, and it requires you listening to your conscience. You listening to your conscience. And anyone here or across Guyana listening to your conscience, not being selfish, not being opportunistic, not being arrogant or ignorant, but just listen to your conscience. There is no way you can tell me. Your conscience will tell you that this government has not done well or has not fulfilled its promises and its commitment, and that this government does not deserve your support in the future. There is no way your conscience would ever tell you otherwise. So before I close, I want to thank the team that has been working across this region, my cabinet, in the public service. Many of you see when the engineers and my guys and girls in the public service come on the heat. But I can tell you I'm proud of them, because it's the same public service that is implementing 100 times more than they were trained to implement. They work beyond and above around the clock. Are there challenges? Yes. Are there weaknesses? Yes. We are in that learning curve. But every day we go there. We go there and we grind and grind and grind for the better tomorrow. I want to thank all of you. I want to thank the trailblazers here. Those old leaders, old party leaders, old community leaders. Many of the faces I see here who went through the difficult times, sacrificed, who worked, who made commitment, who built the foundation on whose shoulder we stand today. I want to recognize them. Those who have left us, like Pariak, Sukai, and all the others who have gone, who put in their time. It is on their shoulders that we stand. It is on their legacy that we stand. It is on their sacrifices that we stand. And we will not ever, ever disappoint the shoulders on which we stand. Together, we will. Whilst they say, divide, 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 fight, 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 my message to you is unite, unite, unite. Let me hear you say it. Unite, 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 unite. That is the philosophy. That is what we embrace. Building a just society for a just cause. Oppression we will grind to the dust. The philosophy of the People's Progressive Party Civic. Today, in closing, I once again thank all of you for sharing your time with us, for sacrificing your time to be here, and for giving us an opportunity to listen to us, lending us your ear, and allowing us once more your trust as we continue to build a Guyana we'll all be proud of. I thank you, and God bless all of you.